Minister of Economic Development and Trade Aivarus Abromavitchus handed in resignation, but neither President and Prime Minister nor representatives of international community let him go. According to Minister, the reason of such decision is actions of first deputy head of pro-presidential parliament faction, how the situation is going to be resolved, and what are the international reaction on splitting President's team. Watching the following story.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine, Aivarus Abromavitchus, handed in resignation. He reported about absence of support and active resistance to reforms that were provided by his team. Mr. Abromavitchus claimed that he does not want to be an umbrella for corruption. He accused deputy head of Petro Poroshenko's bloc faction, Igor Kononenko, and tries to appoint his people in ministry and enterprises to control money streams.
Но у меня и моей команды нет желания быть ширмой.
Neither me nor my team have any desire to serve as a cover-up for the covered corruption or become puppets for those who, very much like the old government, are trying to exercise control over the flow of public funds. I'm not willing to travel to Davos and talk about our successes to international investors and partners, all the while knowing that certain individuals are scheming to pursue their own interests behind my back. These people have names. Particularly, I would like to name one today. The name is Igor Kononenko. Despite representing the political party that had nominated me for my post, lately he has bent on obstructing our efforts. In his turn, Igor Kononenko has commented accusations of Aivarus Abromavitchus. He said that minister is trying to unload responsibility for failures in ministry's work. Maybe in such a way some ministers try to shuffle off the responsibility from their personal work and work of their teams in ministries upon the deputies. By the way, in Parliament, a resolution on Abromavitchus' resignation was registered. Igor Kononenko handed and registered the appeal in the National Anti-Corruption Bureau concerning public accusations towards him from the side of Aivarus Abromavitchus. First deputy head of Petro Poroshenko's bloc claimed about relieving from the duties on time of investigation. On 8th of February, Mr. Abromavitchus will visit the National Anti-Corruption Bureau as eyewitness on case of public accusations of Mr. Kononenko. Meanwhile, neither Ukrainian president nor prime minister support the idea of Minister of Economic Development to leave his position. Prime Minister of Ukraine Arseniy Yatsenyuk said that all ministers who work in covered government do everything to provide progressive reforms and that it is not time to stop this process. I appreciate position of all people who were forced to hand in resignation, even under political pressure. But I am assured that we have already done too much. And in this situation, this handing in resignation means to leave the battlefield.
І в цій ситуації відставка – це тікати з поля бою.
In his turn, President Petro Poroshenko also thinks that Aivarus Abromavitchus has to stay to work in government. He said about this after his personal meeting with minister. President also recalled that he invited Mr. Abromavitchus to the team by himself and gave him Ukrainian citizenship and asked presidential faction to nominate him to position of economy minister. Concerning resignation of Aivarus Abromavitchus, Petro Poroshenko had a meeting with G7 ambassadors. They discussed situation with reforms in Ukraine and government and paid attention to financial support to Ukraine from the side of international community. Ambassadors of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Lithuania, Switzerland, Sweden and Great Britain in Ukraine also reported about their disappointment concerning decision of Aivarus Abromavitchus to leave his position. Moreover, International Monetary Fund is deeply concerned with statement of Minister of Economy of Ukraine about his resignation. It was reported by Christine Lagarde. She underlined efforts of Mr. Abromavitchus on way to reforms in Ukrainian government.
Today we have a guest in our studio with whom we are going to discuss Ukrainian political life in international context. He is Bogdan Yaremenko, international expert. Nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you too.
And how decision of Mr. Abromavitchus will influence the international community and the attitude of the international community to Ukrainian political establishment, and whether we lost the support of Western partners?
Well, I believe it will depend on the next steps that will be undertaken by Ukrainian state. Unfortunately, there is no news about the level of Ukrainian corruption, which I believe already reach the level of the state capture. And here we will not lose any image, because Ukraine has no image in this field already. The worst that can happen is that the president or prime minister or Ukrainian politicians will try to make an impression that nothing really has happened, that it's kind of minor misunderstanding between minister and some other politician. So we really need this scandal, I mean Ukraine, because this scandal provides, let's say, the newly established Anti-Corruption Prosecutors Bureau with a chance to prove its adherence to law, its readiness to serve the community and the country by the providing the transparent investigation of the corruption claims that was raised by Minister Abromavitchus. So this is, I would rather consider this a good chance for Ukraine to clear up ourselves of those accusations of corruption and to start a process of fighting this terrible situation. In the meantime, again, I don't see the situation as dangerous from the point of view of some immediate reaction from the point of view of IMF or other international partners, but the situation is important. Again, I'm repeating, from the point of view of the next or forthcoming steps of Ukrainian political elite and prosecutors bureau.
It was said that the international community is deeply concerned with the situation and how it seems to them this split in the presidential team.
Well, again, this is not the situation between, or the fights between Ukrainian politicians. It's not really something which could impress anyone in the world. What can impress is the readiness or ability of the president and other Ukrainian politicians to react and to
overcome the situation.
Yes, but I mean to react in the legal, from the point of view of the law. So to appoint the prosecutor and to allow him to conduct the investigation freely, independently, and transparently.